Please welcome Vivian Hunt.
Thinking about how to ensure that we have a vibrant high-skilled sector, but also a vibrant mid- and low-skill Londoners, so that we have work for Londoners of all backgrounds, all abilities, and interest levels.
Do you think, Vince and Vivian afterwards, that it is an inevitable consequence of being a great global city that you do have this great levels of riches and great poverty? And what is the mayor's role? Is there a role for the mayor in actually addressing that?
My approach to this, which is why I wouldn't be a very good mayoral candidate, is actually you distribute, and you do what I think one of the two major mayoral candidates are already saying. You really do insist on 50-50 social private housing in new development, for example, to make sure that we don't get this kind of ghettoisation, which is almost certainly a necessary consequence of the free-for-all we've got at the moment.
How do you think the next mayor could capitalise on these types of land resource to actually make a real difference to London's housing challenges?
Now, what is the biggest thing that the mayor has control or very substantial influence over? Answer the land that the mayor directly controls, which is very substantial. If I were mayor, that's what I would be worrying about several hours a day, is really getting the home and communities plan together for the land that you directly own.
The mayor has got a fair suite of powers. Now, they're not as good as they should be in our over-centralised country, but the truth is you've got 4 years in office at least, which gives a certain level of planning certainty most ministers don't quite have. You've got control over the £10 billion transport budget and the services it provides. You've got strategic planning powers, the power to colon and determine applications, and indeed the ability to set up planning zones to determine local actual planning rules.
Every single London borough has thousands of families in temporary accommodation because we are on the front line. We get the families coming through the door. So there is an urgency about this for the boroughs. Doesn't permit us to think about longer term issues.
We've got to think about how we get, in some cases, owner-occupiers of low-density suburbia to release their land.
A lot of these unemployed younger people in London are coming to London to change their lives. They're coming to London to do something different. They're leaving another town. They may be people in the 20s or 30s, a relationship has broken down. They've thought they spent their 20s in a dead-end job and want to do something different. Funding them to get a further qualification, probably while they're working, is really important.
In a city, we have to measure the quality of life. And we have to measure the quality of life, not just for those people in this room, but for those people who will need to be in this room in a few years' time if we're going to have a decent city.
It's very important to, for example, defend skilled immigration. If you're going to create jobs in tech, have the healthcare, have the social care you need, but you've got to link that to showing that you're doing things to develop the skills here.
Back in 2000, when the GLA was formed and the mayoralty was created, I mean, it was a leap of faith, actually, by Tony Blair and those that were advising him at the time to actually do this. And it was actually a very brave decision that was taken.